Yes!
Better late than never, right, Dan?
Look, I was at the pub getting hammered, all right?
Okay, all right,
Right?
yeah,
Get off me.
Tuesday tipsiness right here.
I'm stressed at work.
Yeah,
Work
yeah.
stresses me, Tommy.
I know.
I hate work.
As it does me as well. But that's why we're here, Dan. We talk about
Nice.
movies. We talk about it in a calm, reserved, and quick manner tonight. We're all zen.
I'm going to bed. You carry on.
Now, Dan, for a change, you tell me what we're talking about tonight.
We're changing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then. Well, I will reveal, and I'll do it with the timing of the green screen because I've got the controls.
Good.
So let's do it. Oh, yes, there it is. So we are talking Lord of the Rings 2. More specifically, towers. There are 2 towers. We like saying 2 like that. Now, this is a film that Tommy, again, he loved it. He's reviewed it. And, of course, today we're discussing it in a very different light because, Tommy, you are off script today.
I am, yeah.
Why are you off script today?
Well, because we spoke about the Lord of the Rings trilogy in depth 1 week at a time last year, I think, when we were on air. But the main difference why I wanted to redo that this year is because you're now working as a viewer as well for it because between then and
I've now seen it.
You've seen The Fellowship of the Ring. You've seen the 2 towers. You still have yet to see Return of the King, which is my favourite, but we will get to that.
Hey, I mean, you know how long it took me. I mean, I'm doing well. I'm all right.
Yes.
Considering what my current pace is.
Yes.
You know, I'm no Usain Bolt.
I know. But we're hoping to get Return of the King done by the end of this month, so at least we can cap off this month with a bit of luck. That would be nice.
Absolutely. I'm just swapping our cameras around because you look weird. Right, so here is where we're going to go with this, and here's what we're going to do. So, I will just let you know, obviously you've got my review, you know how I feel of Fellowship of the Ring, and you know that for me, it was good, and I understand why it had its fans, but for me, it was just too long.
There was a lot of setup.
But you see, for me, I mean, I could have done worse in criticism, considering it's not my cup of tea. I could have done worse than just moaning about the length. The length, you can see it from my point of view as to how I can make that fair argument, okay? So, let me just say, first and foremost, I will just go on here. This one, again, with the length.
Yes.
It was, but this one, for me, didn't feel like it was dragging on as much. It did drag as long, but it didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
That means one thing. I'm more engaged. I'm more entertained.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, do you think it was the intercutting between storylines was it kept you vibrantly interested?
Do you know, without me realizing it, I was kind of like, when you get to a storyline and then it just drops and you're going on to another storyline.
Yeah.
And it takes a while for you to change your focus, especially on your first viewing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really aware of the fact that my brain's taking in different storylines that obviously are all interwebbed.
Yeah.
First and foremost, right, I was very disappointed that we lost Gandalf in the first film.
Yeah.
Because on all the trailers, on all the artwork, he's there. Mm-hmm. He is the Dumbledore.
Halfway through the first film,
right?
yeah, he dies, yeah.
Well, he was back.
Exactly, yeah.
And I just felt that we got a little bit more of, okay, this is going to end now. I mean, we saw what we saw in the TV series of Merlin, a war that was absolutely friggin' enormous.
Yeah.
No one's going to survive that.
No.
That enormous army's going to win. It's too big.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
we're sitting. Now, I knew that was coming up because I kind of know bits of what's coming.
The battle.
But I did not know that epic battle scene was actually going to be that early in the trilogy.
Yes,
I was expecting it
all to build up to the third
correct.
film, you thought.
So the fact that we have that big battle scene in a build-up film, the second, it's not the conclusion film.
Yeah.
It's left me, and you're going to appreciate where I'm coming from, it's left me wondering what to expect.
Yes, yeah. Well,
and that, because with Fellowship of the Ring, I kind of was like, well, I know what's going to happen next. They're going to make it, job done.
Yeah.
They could have easily have made that ending a very steep, slippery slope. If they really wanted to do that, they could have done that. They had that available to them. And part of me as a viewer thought, they're going to do that. I'm kind of waiting for that for the last 45 minutes of the film, to be honest. And that wasn't the case with this one. And don't get me wrong, again, it's still not really in my flavour, not really in my... I won't say comfort zone, because I do like this sort of fantasy stuff. It's not my first go-to, but again, it has its market. It has it's appreciated.
It's a very different structured film to the first film.
Yeah, and I think for me, again, that change in structure for me hits. It
Yeah,
works.
yeah, it worked.
And
Yeah.
you're telling me that we've got another structural change coming, or you're not telling me a thing?
All I'll say is it does get more compressed in the in Return of the King. Like all I'll say is the first film was a very linear film. Like it basically it had the same characters in every scene. Really, it was basically Frodo centric. Really, wasn't it? Yeah, the first film, like it was
Frodo the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. But whereas the Two Towers, it splits into 3 separate storylines. You've got Frodo, Sam, and Gollum. I'm sure we'll talk about Gollum shortly and what you thought of him. Merry and Pippin and Treebeard. And then, of course, you got Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. And
I can't go over the name Legolas.
Yeah. And I think you did enjoy the battle build-up, right? When Gimli can't see over the wall.
That was the best part of the whole film.
Yeah,
I love that bit.
That's great, right?
I can't see. Do you want me to describe it to you? No.
Would you like me to find you a box? Yeah, that's just great banter. Yeah, and it lightens up the mood. It makes it into a fun film, doesn't it? But
again, it also gives me what I love in fantasy films, that feeling and that attachment to reality. I thought the first film just kept you had reality, you got the film, and you're just doing that, you're just drifting away from it. This film kind of bounced back a little bit. It's like on the screen here, it looks like I'm playing Space Invaders with my hands. But that was kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
With how it was. Now, again, you've talked up a big game for number 3. I'm expecting big things from this, but your face is telling me that you know what I'm about to say, that might... it has that ability to let me down because of the high stake you've put it on. Now, you've already said, if I turn around and say that the second film is my favourite, you, me, and producer man Steve have created a triangle. We
really have.
Explain
if that's
that.
the case, because the Fellowship of the Ring is producer man Steve's favourite of the 3. Return of the King is my favourite of the 3. So if the two towers happen to be your favourite of the 3, then we would create a perfectly balanced, even triangle. And as you're aware, I love all 3 of these films so equally deep down, because they do act as one film.
So you won't be offended
No.
if I say I prefer 2 over 3.
I like it that it's spread out. Like, I know a lot of people who favour the first film, the second film, the third film. So I love it that it's so evenly spread out. It's in the words of Thanos from Marvel, perfectly balanced as all things should be. And it is perfectly balanced with those 3.
And that balance is very precious.
Yes, yeah. And,
I can't do the voice.
And yeah, producer man Steve can.
He really can,
He
can't
can. Yeah. But what did you think of Gollum? Was he a great addition to the story? Like, did you find him entertaining? Did you find him tragic? What did you take away from your experience with Gollum?
I'll be honest with you, I wasn't entirely sure. I'll be honest, as a viewer, I don't know. I was trying to can I trust him?
Yeah.
And
as Frodo and Sam.
Literally just when I'm like, I can trust him. Because at first I'm like, I can't trust him.
Yeah.
I was Sam. I'm like, I can't trust him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can trust him. What? Hey, no, you don't be doing that now. I don't trust you no more.
Yeah.
I had that element to it, to be honest. I can't remember his name. The guy with the black beard. What was his name?
Hagrid?
No. What was his name?
What, in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. What's his name?
Aragorn.
That's it. I liked him.
Yeah.
I just like him. He's a likable character.
Well, he's a hero, isn't he? He's destined to be the king of Gondor, of the world of men, but he denies that to him because he doesn't feel like he is up to the task.
But that's why I like him.
And
because he's not big-headed.
Yeah, he's not big-headed. All he cares about is just saving these people. And I know we're gonna get into territory here with Return of the King already, but you talked about you're worried that it might be overhyped. Peter Jackson even he said his main focus when making Return of the King was to make sure that people did not leave the film underappreciated. They'd sat through 6 hours of the first film and the second film only to be disappointed.
Isn't that how they wrote the books, though? They wrote it in that way.
Lord of the Rings is a bit like the films in that you can view it as either one big book or 3 separate books.
Right.
And
that's how you view the film.
That's how I actually view
literally
the
how
films.
you view the film.
Because they were filmed all together as one big film from October 1999 to December 2000. They filmed all three movies.
But again, I think if they're going to film it as one big film, that's probably why for me the first one was dragging.
Yeah, because there was so much setup.
Because normally you make a film of that size in that way, they'd have done exactly the same time frame and everything.
Yeah.
But they would have only have made the 1 2-hour film. It's what you usually get.
Can you imagine if the first film didn't work? Like, how much was gambling on this? Because if that first film was not successful, they'd have already spent money and filmed the second film and the third film.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like they took the biggest gamble possible, and Peter Jackson knew that, and Peter Jackson worked so damn hard to make sure that these films, quality of them
that shows
landed.
Because the quality was upped.
Yes.
For me, it was upped. Although, again, if I was in this film's actual audience, its actual appeal, it would have been a lot easier hit for me.
Yeah,
it would have been.
But I think, like, as a non-fan, as like someone who's just watching these movies, like basically because you're being told to.
There is that. Yeah.
I think what you can take away from the third film when you watch it is, it's a wrap up. It's a concluding chapter. There's no more after this. This is the finale. This is the be all and end all. Either Frodo destroys the ring in this film, or evil takes over the world, basically. And
again, this is another thing I like. And a lot of other film franchises actually don't do this. Wrap it up.
Yep.
Close it. That is what I want. And I'll be honest,
of course
a good ending, that's going to make me happy.
Of course, they went back years later and made The Hobbits, but that's set before Lord of the Rings, so it's a prequel, so it's not the same. But Return of the King, that is the be-all and end-all. It is the climax to define climaxes. Like, you look up the word epic in the dictionary, it just says Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. That's all I can say on the matter, but I still want to watch Return of the King with you, be it day or night, I don't care, weekend, you name it, I will drop everything to come round here, Dan.
Funny enough,
and
it was only half
King.
An hour ago you were telling me that you got to go home because you don't want to be here overnight.
Well, let's at least plan this, you know. I would make an exception to watch Return of the King with you. So we need to get that to planning. But wrapping up, Dan,
you know what's going to happen? You're going to be here for the SpongeBob film first. You'll be so grumpy on my sofa then.
I don't care. I can never be grumpy watching Return of the King. It's in my opinion, the greatest film ever made.
No, I literally just said SpongeBob. I reckon I'll get you for SpongeBob first. just to irritate you.
Well, I don't know if that's possible because we're on a time frame with Return of the King. We're not on a time frame with SpongeBob, but
actually, you are animated April.
Yes, that's true.
That got you, didn't it?
But the end of this month comes before the start of next month. Ha Gotcha there. Never mind.
I want you to stay here.
Yeah, we'll fit both of them in. Don't worry.
But look, it's all good, right? And again, our comment section shows there are loads of Lord of the Rings fans.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is known all over, and is known all over Letterboxd as well.
Yes.
So you remember what my star rating was for Fellowship of the Ring? I'm sure it's engraved in your memory.
No. I've actually forgotten.
That's probably for the best.
But feel free to remind me.
I don't want to because you almost cried on me last time.
Okay, well, hit me with this the sequel
this
rating.
Okay, so the first one I did give it a 2.
Yeah?
I did.
Okay.
Because I took away a lot of things I didn't
That's
like.
That's okay. Look, you've already explained it. Let's just move on to the second film.
Okay, you just take into consideration.
Yes.
It's not my cup of tea, okay?
Yes.
Take that into consideration.
I will.
We're going 3.
3. Okay. Well, at least we're going in the right direction.
We're going in the right direction. We're climbing up.
I'm determined to get you that 4 for Return of the King.
Now, you know me. You know that we're not going to be hitting 5s with these.
No, no.
You know that.
I know
that. You know that.
I do know
You're
that.
accepting that, and with that in mind, you're giving this, because that's my personal rating. I'm not a pro critic like you are. I'm not going to go, okay, actually, yeah, we're going to give Rotten Tomatoes this score. I'm giving you my own opinion, and that for me.
That's fine. That's okay.
That is what it is.
But it does leave me with this anticipation to see what you'd give Return of the King. That's why I want us to get through that, Dan. So stay tuned, viewers, because by the end of this month, we will be talking about Return of the King.
Yeah, I've checked with our legal team. We can't actually do it in front of these cameras.
Okay. Never mind.
We'll get sued.
Yeah, we'll get sued.
Right. That's it. time for Tommy to go to bed. I've got a lovely book that I'm going to read him as well. So that just leaves Tommy to say his lines.
You can follow us on Letterboxd, Larkins95, Dan Moore Radio, of course. Subscribe, comment on our reviews. Well, my reviews, because
there's a little bell as well. You got to press that as well now.
Yeah. You got to press the bell.
Put some effort into it now.
Yeah, of course.
But hey, you do that, all right? We will love you, and we will leave you, Tommy. Again, thank you so much.
No worries, Dan. Yeah, it's been great talking about my favourite films with you once again. And everybody, have a great week.
See you later.
Bye-bye.